Hey folks, Blackcross here. I figured for this vlog video, I release it on May the 4th. And tomorrow is May the 4th, actually, for me. But it will be shown on May the 4th, so time paradox, whatever you want to put. But I figured with it being May 4th, I figured we do something different. So, I figured that I'd talk about Star Wars. Thus, it being May the 4th be with you. It is a saying that people have come up with for quite a few years now, I think. So, I figured, you know what, for this vlog video, I'll just talk about Star Wars. Which, I didn't know if I wanted to do it or not, but I figured, I like Star Wars. I'll talk about it. I mean, Star Wars has come a long way since its early days. Back whenever it first came out. Before I was even born, that's for damn sure, I know that. But, like, I didn't even get into Star Wars until I was like 6 or 7 years old. I don't remember how old I was back then. But I do remember watching Episode 6. I watched that one a lot when I was a kid. I mean, enough to where I can probably quote that movie in and out. But the only thing that I liked it the best out of Star Wars Episode 6 was the droids and Ewoks. And if you guys remember, which it may be painful for you to look back at, but there was a cartoon animated series known as Droids that featured R2-D2 and C-3PO, as well as the Ewoks. And while people may say, yeah, it sucks, but considering when they were technically made, it wasn't that awful. I mean, it's better than the Legend of Zelda animated cartoon and the Mario animated cartoon. And those two, well, I won't dwell on that one. You guys know how bad it was. But, the cartoon anime ones, I actually liked those. I did, whenever I was a kid. Going back and watching them now, looking back at it, I realized, why did I get into this? And I was like, oh yeah, because I love the Ewoks and droids, yay! Which I still do. I still like the Ewoks. And I still love the droid designs in Star Wars. I mean, I remember having the booklet of all the different droids that they had. And this was like back whenever these weren't like hardback cover books. These were like flimsy little booklets that was like, I'm sure back then they were only like $1 or something. I mean, this was back whenever I was 10 or something, probably. Price-wise has changed since then, but I still remember those books that I would always go back and read. In fact, I even remember collecting the Lego stuff. The Lego Star Wars were the biggest thing that I loved the most. Because then I could build my own starship, build different droid ideals, and just... basically, it was a big moment of my lifetime where creativity sort of kicked into play. But, yeah, I mean, the Star Wars franchise, I really did enjoy them whenever I was a kid. And then whenever the Phantom Menace, despite what people say, I actually liked the Phantom Menace. I liked the first one. The Clone Wars, on the other hand, the second movie, I didn't care much for. It was very much dragged out, very boring. And most people are going to be like, why? What? The prequels? Really? I was like, well, yeah, the Phantom Menace was really good. And when it first came out, it was probably like one of the most hyped things that had happened. Because everyone was like, oh yeah, Star Wars, it's a 3-part movie series. It's awesome, it's cool, love it. And then to find out that a prequel was coming out, known as Star Wars Episode 1, everyone was losing their shit. I mean, Taco Bell was sponsoring it, Burger King, Pizza Hut. I'm trying to remember how many other corporations was sponsoring it. But it was a big type movie deal, just to know that the Phantom Menace was actually going to happen, that means that there was going to be a possible 2 and 3. And everyone was excited. Admittedly though, yes, they were heavily CG, but I actually enjoyed them. In fact, if I have a video I recommend you guys to watch, which is Nostalgia Critic's Top 11 Good Things About the Star Wars Prequels. That was a really good one. And one of them was that the different worlds. And yes, while they were heavily CG and everything like that, it was really good movie. It literally absorbed you. And the pod racer was really amazing. I loved it, that part. That is literally the one scene that I think everyone will agree is their favorite part about the Phantom Menace. That and the fight scene against Darth Maul. I think everyone can agree that that was really an awesome scene to see. Just to see that fight scene, the choreography and everything like that. It was just absolutely fantastic. But again, the second one wasn't really that good. It's bad enough when you go about to watch the movie and you fast forward through the romance between Anakin and Padme. You fast forward through that in order to get to the part where they discuss about the clones and about Jango Fett. That's pretty bad. But again, the best part about that scene was actually more or less seeing Yoda actually fight. Admittedly, a lot of people were like, that's not how Yoda should fight. Let's put it this way, Yoda is an old guy. He respects honor and stuff like that. I mean, Jedi is basically same way as a samurai is. Technically a futuristic samurai. And they have a different setup, which means if they use physical force, then they will use physical force. If they use the Force itself, then they must use the Force itself. So I mean, it only makes sense for why Yoda would fight like that, but it's still pretty awesome in my opinion, just to see him hopping around and fighting against the other side. But the third one, I think everyone can agree that out of the prequels, the third one was the best one. Just the overall deliverance of performance, the way that it built up to the ultimate beginning of where Star Wars technically starts off in Episode 5. Literally the best. And personally for me, my favorite out of the third film was actually General Grievous. When I first saw General Grievous, I saw him in the cartoon animated series that Cartoon Network did, where it was between Star Wars Episode 2 and then Star Wars Episode 3. Between that time frame, Cartoon Network released a 2-season series of a cartoon anime series. I think these were like 15 or so minutes long. They weren't that long at all. But they were like the best animation that I think they have come out. Sort of like a Samurai Jack type feel. Think of it like that. If you've seen this animation, you know where I'm getting at. It does feel like Samurai Jack. The way that the animation was done, the way the story was delivered, there wasn't that much conversation going on. It was more or less fight scenes between the Clone Wars and everything else. And then General Grievous was introduced, and he was introduced like as though if he was this big bad droid that could kick butt and defeat the Jedi easily. And then you see Obi-Wan Kenobi trying to fight him, and basically did damage to General Grievous through his heart, and General Grievous retreated. And then I went into watching Star Wars Episode 3, and the second I saw General Grievous, I was like, that's him! That's the guy! And then I heard people conversating about it, and it's like, why is he coughing? And I'm thinking to myself, Obi-Wan Kenobi did that to him. He did the puncture. And then to see Obi-Wan Kenobi deliver the finishing blow, that was really good. I really loved that one. And then we have the new set. The new series that Disney is starting up, that J.J. Abrams is directing. This one, I feel he did good. He did a good impression. Admittedly, yes, some of the scenes are very reminiscent to A New Hope. But Star Wars Episode 7, it does bring hope to me of how the series is going to be brought up. A lot of stuff I really loved in that movie. One of them being is that, you know, you got a combination of CG and actual effect. And you see all that combination combined together, and it blends in perfectly. It makes you feel like, and I say this, and I'm probably going to get a bunch of dislike from people, probably more than likely, but like I said, don't take any offense out of it. But it feels like Star Wars Episode 5 brought into the current generation. I mean, you think of how old that movie is. We're talking like probably what? 60s, 70s? I don't remember. I think the 70s, wasn't it? Like I said, I'm sure somebody will put it down in the comments, but that was an old movie. Keep that in mind. A New Hope is an old movie. And then a reiteration brought into today's filming with a combination of both old and new. It just made into a perfect movie. Absolutely one of the best I think I've seen in a while. And BB-8. I never thought that a ball droid for that matter, BB-8, which you can clearly see right here, never would have imagined BB-8 to steal my heart. At first it was R2-D2, and now here BB-8 being introduced into the series, and wow. Just wow. Absolutely unbelievable. Now, I won't give any spoilers about Episode 7 in case people haven't seen it yet, but I do recommend you go see it. It is really good. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Especially for those who said to themselves the prequels were bad. I don't really want to go into watching the 7th one and be disappointed because of Disney. Trust me whenever I say this, you will not be disappointed. It brings back the old stuff that was recognized in Star Wars 4, 5, and 6. My bad. I'm messed up in numbers, but you get what I'm saying. From 4, 5, and 6, and put a new twist into it, of new animation and everything like that, and it blends in perfectly. If I want a better representation, which, again, I might get a lot of people who hate me on this one. Think of how Doctor Who was done. Like, how they did it. Where it was kind of both, like, actual effect, and then they blend in a couple of CG animation just to give it that feel. Star Wars kind of felt like that, but a little bit better, a little bit well done, a little bit well performed, a little bit fine-tuned and everything. There are some things that I did not like. But if I had to say them, it would be more or less be a nitpick, personally for me. But like I said, I can't really spoil them to you guys. So, and if you're thinking about reading the comments and you haven't seen the movie, might not want to look through the comments because someone might shout out something that will be a major spoiler. So, I'm not going to spoil them. But the good thing that I will say is that the fight scene... let's put it this way. If you thought the fight scene at the end of The Phantom Menace was good, this one was really good. I mean, the most comments that I've heard people talk about was that it felt like an actual sword fighting. And that's really good, because that means that I can see how Kylo Ren's lightsaber could be used as an actual sword would be used. You know how, like, some knights would turn their sword around, grab it from the blade itself, and then jam the hilt of it to the opponent's head? I can see that weapon being used like that. Now, record, you wouldn't be able to grab the lightsaber like that, but yeah, that's technically a good design in my opinion. I absolutely love how that lightsaber was done. Oh my gosh. There's so many good memories of Star Wars, and I just felt like I wanted to talk about it for a quick moment for this vlog video. Yeah. But we've come a long ways with Star Wars nowadays, and with this new one, I think it's like, what, Rogue One? I think the story on this one is like how the Rebel Alliance was able to steal the plans off of Darth Vader's ship. The plans for the Death Star. I think that's what it was. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what it was. Have not seen the trailer of it. I still need to do that. Which I may go ahead and do that after I get done with this video. Who knows? Anyway, though, that's it for this vlog video. I just wanted to kind of talk about Star Wars for a little bit. If there's like something you want to talk about Star Wars, please, by all means, put it in the comments below. And if there are like some other videos you want me to talk about, or if you just want me to chat about any random event, by all means, go on ahead, let me know. I just felt like talking about it since it is going to be May the 4th, or is May the 4th, should I say. And I just want to talk about Star Wars for a little bit, that's all. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, the Black Cross signing off, wishing you a wonderful day, and may the Force be with you.